And we are back here for the 8th grade senior night stuff. I guess it's the same thing, right, Janet? Janet has her headset off, but as Mr. Harrison's going to do these announcements, we'll hope that you can hear him. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to very well, but we'll at least be able to see the kids if we can't hear them. So again, this is 8th grade night here at BPC for the kids that'll be going to the high school and playing volleyball with Janet next year.
Yes.
So that is the 8th grade portion of the event this evening. And West Central was ready to come play, weren't they?
Yes.
But
I saw them running straight out of the locker room ready.
Well, you know, those locker rooms in the junior high aren't too big. You want to get out of there, right?
That's
Plus,
true.
they're probably in the boys' locker room, so it's stinky, and
yeah,
they want to get out of there. I don't blame them. Don't blame them at all. But the BPC girls all have to put their hair ties back in, and they all tried to look pretty for the pictures, and now they have to look like volleyball players, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to take a few-minute break. We'll probably put the intro sign up. We'll be back here in just a few minutes. We won't come back as late as we did before the 7th grade game, so we can talk about a little volleyball or softball that's coming up, and then of course baseball starting and track. And Janet, do you care about baseball at all? Didn't I see you at a baseball game or two? Didn't you come watch a baseball game or two last year, trying to be a good student body member?
Maybe a couple.
So we'll take a break here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. We'll be back in just probably about 10 minutes, so bear with us. And welcome back to Bushnell Prairie City Junior High School. Janet Lentini is with me. I'm Dwayne Hewlett. Miles Hewlett is on the camera. And Janet, we're here for volleyball, but
yes, we are.
You've got T-minus, 6 days before softball practice starts?
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Of course I'm excited, Dwayne.
Put the microphone up so people can hear you.
Yes, I'm excited.
Holy smokes. It's like the first time you did this or something.
Just a little bit.
Well, I know that things are a little different for the softball team this year because there's no West Prairie, right?
Yes.
So that probably adds a little bit of question but a little bit more excitement, right? Because you're going to know everybody well that you're playing with pretty much, but at the same time you're not going to have as many girls probably either, are you?
Yeah, we're definitely struggling with numbers, but I think we'll be able to make it work if we play our cards right.
Going to be varsity and JV, or going to be mostly just varsity games, you think?
Probably just varsity like last year. Well, yeah, probably just varsity.
You played some JV games after the fact, right?
Yeah, I played a little bit of first just so I could get some more experience outside of pitching. Something different.
So are you guys going to have enough players, though, to do both?
I'm not sure. We definitely don't have as many varsity players, but there are a good chunk of JV players that definitely can show up to the game.
So you'll have probably fresh soft will be solid, but you're going to be looking for numbers for varsity. So obviously you play softball pretty much year-round, right?
Yeah.
So what have you been doing this winter?
I've just been working. Winter's like a really sacred time for softball because that is your time to get ready for the rush that you get from high school straight into travel ball and then right back into winter.
So you obviously play high school softball, but then you play travel volleyball or softball, right? Not volleyball, softball. Who'd you play for this year? Where were some places you guys went?
This year I played for Midwest Intensity out of Rushville. We didn't play that many tournaments necessarily, but we did a lot of work, which can be just as effective. But it was really nice being able to go to these open tournaments. And we didn't do too bad. We definitely saw some higher level teams, 18U teams. As a 16U team, they can be a little tougher to challenge. But we definitely stepped up to the plate, and I think it really benefited us with all the practice and work that we did.
So you play at a different spot, right? You guys are going to be playing out the park, right?
Yes, I believe so.
So I know that if nothing else, it's a lot shorter bus ride to the park than it is to the right. So that's got to be nice, right?
Yeah, it was always a hassle trying to get dressed in like 5 seconds and get on the bus and then go to West Prairie and then go back home and then get your ride, and then it was always extra time.
So we're just a couple of minutes away from getting started here. I'm not sure if they'll do starting lineups for this, but they did. That was really close, wasn't it? So they did do the national anthem before the 7th grade game, so I don't think they'll have to do that here.
So I think we're going to jump right into it.
7th grade game was really close in the first game, and then serving.
Yes, a couple servers really got them.
Yeah, it was number 15, Rebecca Henshaw, served 10 straight in the first one. And then it was Miley Stimson who served about 14 straight in the second one or so to end those two games. And serving at this level is a lot less about how hard and a lot more about just getting it inbounds, isn't it?
If you can place your serve at a junior high level, you will be able to control the entire game.
And Stimson and Henshaw really did a good job of that, didn't they? Well, the thing that we did talk about a few times is that their serves, a lot of them were pretty low at the net. They were hard serves and low. But the thing we don't see here in this, for these two teams at least for BPC, is anybody at the net.
Yeah.
Whereas at high school, when you're playing a serve receive, a 3-person or 4-person serve receive, there's going to be 2 or 3 people at the net all the time.
Yeah.
And those serves, that type of serve could get blocked at the net, but that's not an opportunity when you're playing a 6-person serve receive like BPC is right now.
Yeah. Which can make it almost like a challenge on the team itself. Like it can be more of like a mental challenge because you're not quite sure what to do, but you don't can't touch it because there's somebody behind you, but it's at your head, so you don't know whether to touch it or not, and it can just be really challenging.
I don't know everything about volleyball, but I know a lot of people who know a whole lot about volleyball. And what I've learned is less people in serve receive actually make serve receive easier.
Yeah.
Because you know that there's only one or two people going to, take an area or take the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when you're playing 6-person and all 6 of you are behind the 10-foot line, there's so many people you don't know who's going to take it, whether I should take it or somebody else should take it.
There's a lot more miscommunication errors that are waiting to happen, but that's kind of one of the things that's tough about volleyball is you almost have to plan everything out beforehand. Or like a play goes bad, you have to plan that out right there before the next play happens again.
Right, you have to communicate a lot.
Very quick thinking, on your feet at all times.
We've talked about at the high school level too, but even at the junior high level, communication is about a bigger part of volleyball as any sport, isn't it?
Yeah. You
have to be able to talk and communicate. So we'll see if this 8th grade game is any different. But the Heat are big. They are tall. They are able to set the ball a little bit, look like, and they were definitely able to hit it when they could get a set, which then falls back to the thing that you and I talk about a lot is passing. Passing is the key, right?
Without passing, you can't have everything else. You need just one good pass in order to set everything else up. Without it, you're not going to have a stable foundation almost to be able to build from there, which is one of the tougher things about volleyball because you mess one little thing up in the very beginning, everything kind of slowly falls apart. But you do have those plays where, the setter comes back, a little bit of a save on the ball, but sometimes it might not come off right. It's a lot of chance almost.
Lauren Winters, London Parker. Trying to get all the numbers here. Number 18, Ruby Giddings. Number 3, Grace Seitz. Number 20, it looks like, Peyton Ludington. And 20-something right here in the corner. I can't see her number.
BPC starts with the serve.
Yep, BPC will have the serve.
Good
That's
serve.
Number 45, Jaden Johnson on the serve. Winters with the hit, and she's going to get the kill as it's not going to be returned. And Jaden I'll make sure I get the right Winters here. Lauren Winters, I remember her from last year. She's going to be good. You're going to deal with her next year. If you're back to playing right, you better learn how to block again. And then that serve is going to fall for a point. And it's 2-0. Serving is the aforementioned girl. I couldn't see her number. It is number 28, Reese Avery, serving for the Heat. And that goes out of bounds. A service error closes the lead to 1.
Corner.
She tried for placement and got away from her just a little bit there, didn't it? Back to serve for BPC. Number 40 is Taylor Lilly.
Overhand serve.
That's a nice serve.
That was pretty.
Off of London Parker and up into the upper deck, I think.
I believe so.
Miles was over there checking it out. But up into the upper deck, so it'll be a point for BPC. 2-2 is the score. Lily to serve again for BPC. Also out there, number 38.
Just fell short.
Josephine Haga. Number 24 is Callie English. Checking into the game, number 21, Natalie Willie. Number 27 is also out there, Caroline Spangler. So that's about everybody, I think. Oh, number 14, didn't talk about her, Addison Mason. And a service error for the Heat. Brings it to 3-3. Checking in for the Heat, number 21, Michaela Swank. Back to serve for BPC, number 24, Callie English.
That was a good short serve.
And there's what experience will do for you right there.
That was good.
As we talked about in the 7th grade game, it didn't happen, but that was Josephine Haga getting up and coming to the net, like we talked about, a pass
on the
over.
Line too.
Yep, if it's a pass over, you come get it, and she did that. And then she's talking to the Heat player across this net from her. There's Winters and a big block by Haga.
And good communication on BPC for that one.
Haga was sitting over there talking to Regan Schaefer, who's in the game, as they're talking to each other across the net right there.
It happens.
And BPC leads 5-3. Another short serve, and it's an ace right in. Man, that thing fell really short. And that was, what,
was that
4
an
feet?
Underhand serve?
It was 4 feet inside the 10-foot line and right on the line on the left side.
We were just talking about it. Those underhand serves can be just as powerful as an overhand hard serve.
You don't hit them as hard, but the placement can be killer.
Set up on the outside. A cross just fell outside.
And they call a net violation, I believe, on Haga. So it will be a side out to the Heat. Back to serve is going to be number 25, Lauren Winters, and that's the best thing that BPC can hope for. Get her in the back, and there comes a jump serve.
Ooh.
Holy smokes.
That was. That one kind of dropped out almost.
That was a good one. And into the net. There is the problem with a jump serve.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what level you are. They are not as accurate, and they're harder to control. Haga back to serve now. Jump serve of her own. Not a good pass, but they're going to almost get it across.
That was close.
Got to give Michaela Swank a little bit of bonus there, as that came right back at her. She's like, I shouldn't be hitting this right now, but I'm going to give it a punch and see what can happen.
You see a lot of variety within serves in this level of volleyball.
And it's going to be pushed into the net by English after not a good pass, so it'll be a side out. 8-6, and back to serve for the Heat, number 20, Peyton Ludington. Lainey Klossing is in as well, and that's an ace for the Heat. Checking in for BPC. Is that number 20? Destiny Sykes. So 20 is serving. It's a deep serve, and Sykes, who just came in the game, they served it right at her. And that's a hard thing when you come right off the bench, right? You got to get your bearings a little bit. It's nice to get a player or two, but that's a good job of the Heat to serve right at the new player. Another overhand serve, deep. Sykes is going to dig that one. That's an overpass, and it's going to be dug. Bump set's going to go to the net, and they can't get it across. So BPC will get the serve back with a 1-point lead, 9-8. Going back to serve is Mason. Addison Mason. Pop-up serve is Doug. Bumped across by Klossing. BPC gets it across by Willie. And it's a point for BPC. That's about as long of a rally as we've seen all day. And a timeout's going to be called by West Central. We'll take one as well and be back here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH right after this.
MDH has committed to having a top-notch OB-GYN unit.
The new facility, the Dolores Cater Schweitzer Women's Center, this is a quality facility that the patients need to match the quality of care.
And then we also have a new clinic, which is state-of-the-art.
And here at McDonough, we have a team. And everybody feels like they're a part of the successes that we have.
We have a strong team in our office and in labor and delivery. You will get the best care at McDonough District.
I chose physical therapy because I knew I wanted to be in the healthcare field. I wanted to be able to help patients in some way related to more in depth. We get to know our patients, and that's really what kind of sets us apart.
And welcome back to Bushnell Prairie City Junior High School as the West Central Heat trail 10-8 and took a timeout there. Addison Mason going back to serve again for BPC. Three-person serve receive, as we talked about, set up for the Heat. It's very short serve.
Good communication on BPC for that one.
We talked about those. You know, there was no miscommunication between the Heat deciding who needed to come up and get that. Now, they did switch rotation here, or they switched serve receive. And that's an error. So the person who was Grace Seitz, who had to come up and try to dig that last one from deep middle, they switched serve receive, and she was at the net that time. Checking in for the Heat, number 18, Ruby Giddings, and back to serve, number 13, London Parker, as they trail 10-9 now with the serve of Parker coming your way. It's dug by BPC and Sykes, and then a little miscommunication, and the Heat have closed it back to 1.
Especially with the low ceiling, those can always be a little tough.
Hega. It's going to be
Good
pushed
over.
across by Jaden Johnson. Bumps that's going to come across on an overpass.
If that would have been a little deeper, that would have been.
Set and a kill for number 18, Ruby Giddings. And we're knotted at 11 now. As Parker back to serve again for the Heat. And we're going to call the officials couldn't even say anything as in the net was Caroline Spangler. Caroline just turned around, shook her head. Yeah, I know. Don't even blow the whistle. Just let us keep playing. Pretend I didn't do it. As the Heat have the lead for the first time now. Parker still serving. Sykes with a little trouble receiving the serve. Easy for me to say.
They just need one good pass is all it takes.
Parker to serve now. Bumped across by Spangler. Winters is there.
It's going outside.
To Giddings, excuse me. Dug, but not able to do anything with it as Johnson had the dig.
A little miscommunication in the back row, but.
That's 14-11. There's a serve just out by about 3 inches. And Parker's service comes to an end. And now checking in, number 28, Reese Avery checking back in as she's replacing Lainey Klossing. Back to serve is Spangler for BPC. Nice deep underhand serve.
Going outside.
Giddings again on the hit. There's a nice dig by Hega. It's going to be pushed across by Johnson. And it's going to go out of bounds. Side out to BPC.
That was a good dig.
Should be a point, excuse me. So it's 14-13 because Spangler served last time as well. That was a little bit of a rally there.
Going over.
Now there's a tip on the set attempt by Ludington as she, instead of setting it, just kind of pushed it over. And you might be wondering the difference. We saw in the 7th grade game where there was a hit by the setter. The setter was in the front row, and that time she had to set that ball over because she is not a front row player. That's the reason why she set it instead of hitting it. That was a nice serve by Seitz.
Those are always tough to get a hold of.
It's like a knuckleball, right?
Yeah.
Do you throw knuckleballs in softball? I mean, those floating.
Yeah, I think there's some girls that do.
And Winters tried to go up and get that one, and right in front of Giddings, and Winters is like, I didn't really do that. I didn't mean to. I can't believe I just missed that. That's what she's saying to herself right now.
It happens. It happens.
Ludington, Winters, and Avery are your front row for the Heat right now.
Good drop
Serving
on the ball.
for the Spartans is Jaden Johnson. Short serve. Ludington's going to set
outside
to Winters, and it's going to go deep and out of play. You saw that coming, didn't you?
Yeah. I've experienced a couple of those.
What happened there? He's got in front of the ball.
Yeah.
Hit it from behind her, right? And stay behind the ball. There's a hit for Giddings. and a side out. It's 17-15.
You know, I think as I watch this junior high game go on, a lot on both sides of the court is the, what's it called? Coverage. There's like almost a lack of it. Everybody kind of stays in their lane.
Avery's serve is deep and out. Back to serve for the Spartans. Natalie Willie checking in for the Heat. Number 5, Klossing, as Avery takes a seat. And a serve out of bounds for Willie. She took a run up at it like she was going to do a jump serve, and it was an underhand serve. I remember when I played slow pitch softball, there was a guy that would pitch, and then he'd like jerk all over and make weird spins and stuff. So you'd almost watch him instead of watching a ball. It was the weirdest thing to have to learn to ignore. That kind of gave me the same feel, you know what I'm saying? Checking in for BPC, number 40, Taylor Lilly.
Good float serve.
And that went out of bounds, barely. Serving for the Heat is number 21, Michaela Swank. This is set 1, best 2 out of 3, and there's an ace.
It's still a fairly close game.
Riley Griffith is in the game as well. As that one fell right in front. They do a really good job of going after the sub that comes in the game, don't they? I mean, it's almost like they know to do that. Let's just try her out once and see what happens. And that's a let serve.
Those are always tough.
That should be illegal. When I started covering volleyball, that was illegal. Let serves,
really?
Yeah, you couldn't. A let serve was a service error. Well, you got one, I think. It's kind of like tennis. You got one, and you got to try it again. But man, it's just not even fair. There's another ace.
That one came right across the net too.
And a timeout on the floor. This one's going to be charged to BPC. We'll take a break as well and be back on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH right after this.
MTC Communications is building a high-speed fiber network in our community, and we're putting priority on the areas with the greatest interest. That means we need your input to let us know you want us to build fiber in your area first. Experience the speed and convenience of fiber internet by visiting our special website and registering. Let us know you want fiber internet today and make your voice heard.
I grew up in a small town in Missouri, and I like the feel of community. I like knowing the people that I take care of and knowing the people around me, providing care for someone that you know is in this community and helping them to get better.
And welcome back to the junior high school at Bushnell Prairie City, as we have the Heat and the Spartans, West Central and BPC, going at it in 8th grade action here. I got high school volleyball. This is not high school.
Nope.
This is junior high volleyball. It'll be high school next year, though. Their serve is going to be, I don't know if I'd really call that a passing error, in all honesty. That was a pass, maybe not to the spot,
a little close to the net.
But the setter didn't even get there to try to do anything with it. So there's another serve off the arms of Lilly. Oh, a nice job by Griffith to get it at least something to do with it. Might be getting tired of volleyball or something. Like getting to where I can't talk anymore. And it's set point for Swank. That's deep, but Lilly did a good job. That was going to be in.
That was good over.
And it's going to have to be bumped way across and not going to get it. So BPC is going to live to fight another point at least. As they'll get 24-17. They'll have to roll off 7 straight now as Spangler checking in for Griffith.
The same thing also occurred during the 7th grade game where we were match point and it fell.
Checking in for BPC also Destiny Sykes, number 20. And she's back to serve. Deep serve. Winters is going to push it across.
Set up.
Haga's going to dump
That was a good hit.
Now another set.
Outside. Goes across.
There's a couple of offensive sets, not pass. So there's a bit of a setting error or a hitting error. Spangler didn't get there. Mason tried to get it to her, and that's going to end set number 1, 25-17. Very similar to the 7th grade game. It was closed for a while, then West Central opened it up, and then they closed it on a side out. So as we complete set number 1, we'll look ahead to set number 2. We'll take a break here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
MDH has committed to having a top-notch OB-GYN unit.
The new facility, the Dolores Cater Schweitzer Women's Center, this is a quality facility that the patients need to match the quality of care.
And then we also have a new clinic, which is state-of-the-art.
And here at McDonough, we have a team. And everybody feels like they're a part of the successes that we have.
We have a strong team in our office and in labor and delivery. You will get the best care at McDonough District.
You know, you see fires on TV all the time. You don't understand what the families are really going through until you've lived it. The day before the fire, life was good. We went to bed, we woke up, and we had nothing. If it was not for Country Financial, we would still have nothing.
We're always moving. Scratch that. We're always moving forward. But forward can sometimes look a little backwards. Or like circles. Or like nothing at all. But we never stop. We never stop. Because life never.
I would say that one of the most rewarding aspects of being an obstetrician is being present at the delivery of a baby. It's mostly a joyous occasion, and it's just so much fun to be a part of that.
The thing I enjoy most is that we take care of a wide variety of people in our community. I see infants through teenagers and mothers and fathers, and I really enjoy that.
Welcome back to Bushnell Prairie City Junior High School, set number 2. Hey, that's like 3 times in a row I've got it right.
Okay.
It's 3 times in a row. You know how many games I've done in the BPC high school? This is the first one I've ever done in the junior high. Ever.
No. It was senior night, but now it's 8th grade night.
I know, I screwed that up too. Leave me alone. Why are you here? Why are you being mean to me?
Listen.
Oh, here we go. So we'll be West Central serving first this time. It's Winters, Ludington, Giddings. Back to serve is going to be Klossing. Also out there is Seitz and Parker for BPC. It's Griffith, Haga. Can't see what number that is. Number
deep serve.
22 is Elizabeth Deafus. Pushed across again, and then there's a little communication error between Haga and Deafus, and it's going to be a point for the Heat. Playing front row for BPC is Willie Johnson, and nearest to us is Sykes, I do believe, number 20. It is. And a drop. For everybody at home, you can do that. You just can't take a swing at it. You can let it fall and redo it. That had a lot of height, and that's one of the few serves that we've seen from West Central that's had height like that. So I think
a majority of their serves have been almost dropping out, almost on the net.
So I think that kind of threw the girls off in the back row there. Johnson now an overpass, and Winters is there. And that is not where or to who you want a short overpass to go to. Lauren Winters will drive it home, and she did right there.
Especially right up in the middle.
She is going to be a good middle for the Heat in years to come. You'll see her on the volleyball court next year, I'd almost bet. There's another ace, 4-0. There was a Winters that played for them this year too, wasn't there? Do you remember? You don't remember the names.
No, I don't.
That's going out of bounds. Tammy, good catch. Good catch. Good catch, white shirt. She can't hear me, I don't think. I wish she could. I told her I was going to give her a hard time before the game, but back to serve is Jaden Johnson, number 45 for the Spartans. Deep middle. Ludington's going to tip it across, and it'll be a kill. She is front row now, so we talked about that earlier. She can hit it above her head with one hand like that. Checking in for the Heat, going to be number 21, Michaela Schwank, and she rolled off several points in the last game as well.
Are you ready, girls?
Ooh, that was in. Oh, they're going to say it was out, but I really think that was in.
That was almost right on. That was on the line almost.
I thought it was too, but checking in for BPC is going to be number 14, Addison Mason. Checking in for the Heat, number 10 is Hannah Carnes. Back to serve for the Spartans, number 21, right? Natalie Willie.
We might have a better angle on the court, though.
That's true. We do definitely have a better angle on the court. Ludington's going to set far side to Parker, and it's a kill.
Move your feet, girls.
You know,
hear
watching
one of the
now-
parents sitting beside us saying, "Move your feet," but
Yeah.
the judging of seems to be the problem. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Watching like junior high volleyball, I can like tell, like looking now, obviously, I can like kind of tell where they're gonna hit at, but like then I look back in my junior high days and I remember like praying because I didn't know where it was gonna go.
Taylor Lilly checked in. Lauren Winters has had 2 straight kills.
Oh.
That was touched by a Spartan. I don't know what they're talking about here. The officials having a communication. Tammy DeCounter, she's one of the folks from Good Hope Gardens. So I was giving her a hard time. She's the chair umpire in this match. So she's talking to the down referee, trying to make sure what's going on. I can't read lips. I kind of wish I could, but
Make it a lot easier.
it would. But at any rate, Tammy and her family have a bunch of sheep as well. I saw that they've only got like 20 sheep left to land. There's another ace for Winters. And they'll be planting all their goodies. Get ready for the spring, I would imagine. Start some stuff in their greenhouses and so on. Lauren Winters going to serve again here. A little kid says, "I want to go through. Can I walk through behind you? Excuse me." And the referee's saying, "Kids, you need to get out of the way. She's supposed to be working here. We've got things to do, like serve the ball." Have you tried a jump serve?
Like in practice,
That's deep and
yeah,
out of play.
but not during a game.
Are you any good at it? I take it as a no. That's the reason why you don't try it in a game.
No, I don't know. I like to work with my normal stance anyway better. I don't know. I feel like I have more control and like I can kind of experiment with it more instead of having to worry about how many steps I've taken, the timing, when to throw the ball. Is it high enough? Did I hit that low? You know?
And oh, that went outside the net by Haga. Spangler's going to check in, replacing Griffith. But there was somebody from West Central way in the net, unless it hit the pole. Maybe it hit the upright.
I think it did hit. Maybe. Well,
I don't know.
replay. I'm just playing.
Can we see a replay of that, Miles?
If only.
Yeah, I mean, I could if I'd have been paying attention sooner. But I wasn't, so. Ludington back to serve. Short serve. Oh, that's going to be, yep, that's into the net on the far side in the game. What number is that? Is that 35 it says, or 36? Jamie Miller? What's the shirt say? I don't see 35 on their roster anywhere, but jump serve by Haga. Carnes. It is number 35, and we don't have a 35 on our roster. Might be Jamie Miller. I don't see a 36 over there. Haga's jump serve that time fell short. 10-5 is the score. Low underhand serve. Haga's return not going to get across the net. That's number 32, Brianna Engel serving.
Those are hitting just the 10-foot line.
That one goes off of Johnson initially, and then a couple other players tried to get a hand on it and couldn't. This is where the 5 or 6 person serve receive is a problem because those are so short they're fighting over who's supposed to get it. There's an overpass. And it gets touched and then touched again and pushed across.
It's going outside.
There's a kill by Giddings for the Heat. 13-5 is the score. A little higher that time in a deeper serve. Pushed across.
Over.
And reaching back to try to get it was Seitz, and that's going to end up a side out. Checking in for BPC, number 22, Elizabeth Dyfus. And she'll go back to serve for the Spartans. 13-6 is the score. Giddings will be pushed across by Ludington, and then Jaden Johnson, out of necessity, not by choice, just punched it across, and it worked out okay. And
right in
BPC.
an open spot.
It's all about finding the location, right? Short serve as Winters struggles with the pass, and they're going to get it across, and then it hit it right back into the deep left corner by Taylor Lilly, and BPC's got a little run of their own going, and this is really the first time we've seen BPC score more than 2 or 3 points at a time.
Just like you said, Dwayne, the spot on the court is critical.
Winters, another pass. Ludington's going to set near to Giddings. Bumped across. Back row set. Winters is going to bump it across.
Over.
A little bit of miscommunication again between Spangler and Johnson results in a side out for the Heat. And they retake a 6-point lead here. Deep, Haga. Over net serve right to, again, the wrong person, Winters, and it's a point for the Heat. Another serve coming for Grace Seitz.
On those kind of plays, you kind of learn to just sit back and get down because there's nothing you can do.
You're not going to get up there to block it that quick, right?
No.
Oh, good up by Johnson. A good push across by Spangler.
It's going over.
And then Ludington pushed it across, and a passing error results in a... You want to get on? You want to talk? Are you sure? You have a sister playing? Who's your sister? Here, I'll let you talk. Come here. Come here. What's your name?
No one will hear. No one will
Oh, here. What's your name?
Harley.
Harley?
Yeah.
Who's your sister?
Taylor.
Taylor? Taylor who? Taylor Lilly. Okay. We're right up here amongst the people tonight, so everybody's right next to us. And it's 18-8. Oh, you're not going to hurt anything. She's fine. She's fine. And another ace. Grace Seitz still serving, and BPC is going to take a timeout. We'll take one as well and be back on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH right after this.
MTC Communications is building a high-speed fiber network in our community, and we're putting priority on the areas with the greatest interest. That means we need your input to let us know you want us to build fiber in your area first. Experience the speed and convenience of fiber internet by visiting our special website and registering. Let us know you want fiber internet today and make your voice heard.
The thing I enjoy most is that we take care of a wide variety of people in our community. I see infants through teenagers and mothers and fathers, and I really enjoy that.
Welcome back to Bushnell Prairie City Junior High School. Okay, tell us your name again. What's your name?
Harley.
Harley. And who's your sister?
Taylor.
What'd you want to say to Taylor?
Go Taylor.
Go Taylor, that's right. So Harley is up here watching her sister play, hanging out right beside us. And Seitz is going back to serve again. And again, communication is a problem, and it's 20-8. And
the servers is really doing a good job of hitting those back corners, especially with the 3 people covering.
Addison Mason back in for the Spartans. Seitz to serve again. Mason's going to dig that one. Haga's going to push it across, and Winters is there, and Johnson dug it. Spangler couldn't do anything with it, though, and it's just that close, isn't it? Punch it.
That way you don't get called.
Could have been called for a lift, probably,
That's
couldn't
true,
she?
Yeah.
If that's the reason why you're Janet's sitting up here going, punch it. That way you don't get called for a lift, right? Seitz serving again, and Mason came up to get it, but it floated a little on her, it looked like, and it's 22-8, and a deep left corner serve. The Heat have done a good job of changing locations within their service. I mean, not every server, but within each server's service, they've changed
always hitting
location.
a different spot.
Yeah.
None of them are hitting the same spot twice in a row.
There's another ace.
Which you'll quickly learn is crucial to these kind of games.
Seitz, as you can see on the screen now, is waiting to serve with her team up 23-8 now. And make it 24-8. We're at match point for the Heat.
The Heat have done a really good job holding their ground this game.
Yeah, they've done a lot of good things, really, the Heat have. They have passed well, they've hit well, they've blocked a little.
Good
Haga with the
deep pass.
It's going to come to get it across. Going to be pushed back across again. And a setting error by Ludington as nobody was out there to hit it. And a side out, and BPC has got to roll off 15 straight to extend the game here. Spangler's low serve, and it's over, and an overpass goes deep and out of play. So 1 point at a time, right? That's all that's all you need, 1 point at a time.
And you want to play like it's going to be your last, especially in this situation. Throw everything you have out there.
Spangler serve. Seitz is there. Ludington to Winters.
Good dig.
Dug there by Seitz. Winters takes the overpass and drives it home, and that's how this one's going to end 25-10, the final here from Bushnell Prairie City Junior High School. I do believe that the 8th graders, or some of them, might come up and talk to us. So if they do, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back here as Harley's still standing here, and maybe Harley's going to get on camera. Are you going to stay up here long enough for Taylor to come up so you can get on camera too? Huh? Sure? I think they're going to come up. They're heading up here now, so we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
MDH has committed to having a top-notch OB-GYN unit, and all the providers and staff are putting the patient first.
We're always moving. Scratch that. We're always moving forward. But forward can sometimes look a little backwards. Or like circles. Or like nothing at all. But we never stop. We never stop. Because life never stops. It's hard to stop a train.
Well, we were camping, and then I got a phone call from my neighbor and said that we got hit by a storm. He said, you better come home because there's no roof. He said, I look up and see the sky. He didn't know what you were going to do, where you're going to go, you know, but Country Financial took care of us.
We anticipate something that we hope never happens, but when it happens, we are there to make good on our promise.
And welcome back to BPC Junior High School. We have the 8th grade team from BPC up here to talk to us now. And I can't see all your numbers, and I don't know your faces. So the first one that had to take the microphone is Destiny Sykes. So Destiny, you said you get to do things first. Why'd you want the microphone first? You can't hear me? Why did you want the microphone first?
Because I didn't want Natalie to have it.
You got to, okay, if you're going to have it, you got to talk into it.
Because I didn't want Natalie to have it.
Oh, I see. So you didn't really want to talk a whole lot. You just wanted to be able to have the
I
microphone.
just didn't want her to have it.
Oh, I see. Okay, we'll give it to Natalie now. You've answered your... That's not Natalie. So you must be Natalie Willie?
I am.
I'm sorry, Natalie. I know your mom, and I am very sorry.
Me too. Me too.
Well, I'll tell you what. You guys, your volleyball season's over. You've had your basketball season already. How many of you are you going to run track?
Yeah.
So a bunch of you are going to do track. So you're not done with junior high, but what was tonight like for you?
Tonight, pretty hard. We lost pretty. We have a pretty good losing streak, I would say.
You guys didn't do that.
A pretty good losing streak. Well,
I think we played pretty good.
You didn't play bad. I'll give you that. You did. You did not play bad.
You guys really didn't.
So we'll pass it along, and you are number 38, right? So you are Josephine Haga. Am I saying your name right? Haga or Haga? Haga. So I butchered it all night.
Anyways.
Just hate me. Janet, you have any questions? What you said you wanted to ask him a question. Janet will be a senior next year when you guys are. Do you guys know Janet? Do any of you know Janet? Janet is Janet's parents own Rosie's Pizza. So if there's anybody on the varsity team you want to become friends with, this is her. Okay.
I'll take notes.
You want to ask him any questions?
All right, let's think here.
Yeah, am I going to get my question?
You got to put the mic up so they can hear you, though.
I'm trying to think.
Oh, well, you played a complete rotation, right? Meaning you never leave the game, right? You play front row and back row. So how difficult is it for you switching from front to back? Do you have any problems doing that?
I'm going to be honest, I really hate back row, but, well, I don't hate it. It's not my favorite place to be. It's a little tiring. I'm really sweaty, so I don't know what else to tell you.
Jump serve, right? You did the jump serve too, right? How long have you been trying to do the jump serve?
Just since this year.
Do you like it? You think you need to practice it a lot more? Or not? I'm just asking.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by
I'm just asking. Do you think you need to practice it more, or do you think you need?
Yeah, because it still kind of sucks.
It's a hard serve, isn't it? It's hard enough to serve overhand when your feet are on the ground. When you're trying to jump and hit the ball, it's a whole different deal, isn't it?
Because my feet are in the air, so.
Well, you're a smart one. Let's move it on down the road. You guys are mean to me.
Lizzie Deefus.
Liz, you know what, Liz? I said Elizabeth because that was what was on the thing. Is that okay? But you want to be Lizzie?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I said Elizabeth in the game. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. So you played mostly back row, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you like most about this season?
Bumping it.
Bumping it. You like to pass the ball?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on down the line, and we'll get a little bit of stuff from everybody. This is Taylor Lilly, right?
Yes.
Do you know Harley?
Yes.
She may or may not have been on the broadcast with us.
Oh, great. Thanks.
So you might want.
Such a hobo.
She was very nice to you. She was saying how she's.
Not nice to me at home.
She's not. Well, you know what? I was the oldest, and it was always horrible. So I understand.
It's horrible. She gets whatever she wants.
The youngest are always the meanest. They are, aren't they? The youngest are the meanest. Oh wait, you're the youngest, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh well, see, I rest my case.
Not the favorite though.
Not the favorite though. That's why the restaurant's not named Janet's.
That's why I got a pasta.
Well, what are you going to miss most about volleyball?
I don't think I'm gonna miss a lot because you know what? This year has not been the greatest, but I'm definitely gonna miss this team because I don't know. We're going into freshman year next year, and I cannot speak because someone's staring at me, so I cannot do this anymore.
You want to give it to Riley then?
Yeah, Riley, go ahead.
Riley Griffith is the next one. Hold on a second. I want to get it to a little bit more microphone cable. Riley, I know that can you hear me, or is it too loud? Can you hear me?
I just can't hear very well as it is.
You can't hear very well as it is. Whose fault is that, Mom or Dad's?
Probably Dad.
Probably Dad. We won't talk about that then. We'll just leave it alone. I know that you've been working hard to get better. You know, when you guys have struggled a little bit this year, but you've been working hard. As you look back to your 7th grade year, you guys had really short everythings. Do you think that affected you guys for your 8th grade season here?
I wasn't here 7th grade year for volleyball.
Well, I mean, but I'm talking about sports in general. I mean, do you think that you guys, Haga here said that she didn't think that you guys played real well this year? Or no, Willie said that.
Put it on replay. Put it on replay.
I have to go back and listen. Who was it? Who was it, Janet? Was it Willie or Haga?
It's probably both of them. Let's be honest.
Probably both of them. It was Willie. Okay, so do you think that? Okay, we'll talk basketball then, because I didn't get to talk to you guys during basketball season. Do you think that basketball would have been a lot better this year if you'd had a full season and more practice last year?
Yeah, and if we had 6th graders last year too, they would have been able to learn more.
Yeah, that's for sure. Let's pass it on over to Miss Spangler. Watch yourself there, kids.
I have my question, by the way.
Go ahead.
Hold on, let him finish.
Who are you waving at?
Who?
Is that
my
Haley?
girl Haley.
Is that Haley down there?
Yeah.
Okay.
She is the reason where I'm at today.
So, Caroline.
The reason where I'm at today.
You have a question for Caroline?
Okay, first of all, you have the same number as me, so that kind of unsettles me. But I have seniority next year, so it's okay.
I've had a different number every year, so it'll be
for
okay.
you. Anyway, so I guess this is more of a question for anybody playing next year, but what are you guys most excited for or afraid of next year?
Seniors in general. Afraid of messing up in front of high school.
Yeah, I'm nervous about playing in front of the school.
You know, as somebody who's done it for how long has I been doing this for? 3 years? It gets easier. JV, your first year is always kind of rough because you're learning the ropes, but you get 3 games in, you're like, oh, this is what this is. Okay, and then you kind of figure it out on the way. It gets easier, just as I would hope it would. You guys are all 8th graders, so you guys have probably been doing this for a minute, even if COVID was in the way a little bit, but it gets easier. So, and don't worry about the seniors. We're all okay.
Some of them are okay. Some of them are mean. I'm just kidding. She's not mean.
What?
So, Caroline, I know that I actually went to school. Well, actually, your dad was a year older than me in school. So you look borderline athletic. So you must have got that from your mom. Is that right?
I don't really know where it came from.
You don't. I was letting you give your mom a shout out there. I was going to get you some brownie points, and you just let that slide right by.
Sorry.
So let's pass it on down then. I can't. Who are we talking to next?
Girl, no.
You're not talking? You don't want to talk? You don't want to talk? You're going to talk? Jaden Johnson? I thought you weren't going to talk.
Here, I'll talk.
Is this Addison?
Yeah.
Addison Mason. Addison, you were a setter, right?
Yeah.
So how hard is that job? I mean, Janet and I talk a lot during high school season, and then even while we were talking to broadcast here, that setting is an extremely important position, but there's so many things that go into volleyball. So I know you want to get a good set, but a bad pass before you get to set is hard too. So what's going through your mind when the serve comes across?
Try to get a good pass, have them get a good pass, and so that way I can set it. It's kind of nerve-wracking sometimes when there's not a good pass, so I have to figure out how to get under that.
So what do you hope happens next year? Do you want to be a setter again next year? Do you like that position?
Yeah. I don't like any other position except for back row. I don't like hitting. That's just not my thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than a good setter, so just work your tail off.
Yeah.
And then everybody who said you like back row, work your tail off, because without a back row, then the setter doesn't do any good. And without a good back row pass and a good setter, the hitters don't do any good. So this sport, don't even look at me like I'm wrong, Janet. But anyway, I know you guys, some of you have said that, it wasn't a great year or things didn't go well, but I'll guarantee it'll get better. You just got to practice, work hard, and it'll get better. Okay?
I'll be there.
And follow. You're going to have some good kids in front of you that can help you too. When you guys get into high school, listen to the upperclassmen. They've been around. They can help you too. Janet
There
is an
are
idol.
no
We'll
negatives.
just leave that alone right there and leave that alone. Well, ladies,
Dwayne?
do you guys have some cake or something you need to get to?
Yeah, Rosie's Pizza.
And pizza?
Who said that?
And cookies? Pizza, cake, and cookies?
Hey, you
and
know,
you're thirsty?
You know where we're at, Dwayne?
It's at Rosie's.
It is at Rosie's.
That's the best place to
Uh-huh.
eat pizza in the tri-state area, isn't it?
Yup.
Yep. Okay. Well, ladies, get out of here. Congratulations on getting through your junior high career.
Bye.
You know, that was, for anybody keeping score, that was Destiny Sykes with the bye at the end. And I could see her and you being friends.
We'll see. Maybe I'll just be like mean. Nah, I'm just playing.
All right, well, that'll do it here from Bushel Prairie City High School. A 2-set loss on 8th grade night for the BPC 8th grade team. 7th grade lost in 2 as well. We will be back on air this week with the West Prairie Junior High team. We're going to try and do their game tomorrow night. So for Janet Lentini, for Miles Hewlett on the camera, I'm Dwayne Hewlett. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you hopefully tomorrow night from Colchester.